Alright, welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to assemble the new Space Marine Stormtalon. So let's unbox this thing first. Basically you have your regular battalion sized or battle force sized box, and we have the new paints listed on the back here, and let's see what we got inside. So the box is rather empty, but that's okay. So we have our flying stand and base. That's expected. We have a sprue here that has all the, so you got the engine bits here. Looks like the underside of the, actually looks like the cockpit right there, top of the cockpit, and the rest of it is here. So here's the main part of the body, torso, the fuselage, the underside of the fuselage, top side, and the tail fins. And then we have a nice canopy there, so there's no sprue for that at all. It's actually quite nice looking. Decal sheet and instructions. Oh, there's the sprue for the canopy. Okay, so let's start doing this. I'm just going to rearrange things a little bit. Alright, so I have my area set up here. I've got the Citadel extra thin plastic glue, and I also have some Tamiya extra thin. I tend to like that as well. And got my clippers, X-Acto knife, as well as the mold line removing tool. So I think that should get me going here. So we'll start into step one, which is going to be assembling the cockpit. Okay, so let's start clipping things out. So I know the new Citadel How to Paint book with its tips tells you not to cut close to the sprue, but I actually like to use the flat side of the clippers and try to clip as close as possible. So your mileage may vary, you can do whatever you'd like, but that's how I like to do it. Okay, so just clipping out all the parts I can see in the instructions. So it looks like all of the inside bits for the fuselage here, or the cockpit. Let's see, as well as so this is the bottom half where its seat is going to be, and let's see what else. Oh, we got the number 67. Trying to see the numbers on things here. Must be on the other screw. Here it is here, 67. This is the front sort of sensor array. And then there's an Imperial Eagle here somewhere. Right here. And that number, that 27. There it is. It's got some bits on the back side of it so that it'll line up properly. Okay, so that. What else do I need here? So this is part A, so this is all these pieces. They're just going to go together. So I'm going to clean these up with the X-Acto knife. So making sure that that's nice and flush. And actually I have my GW Emerys. I'm going to make sure that that's... So I'm just using the X-Acto knife there just to make sure that the cut along the sprue is perfectly flush. And just gonna okay, do the same with this. Although this one probably doesn't matter quite as much. Now I'm not sure about how fully I'm going to assemble everything before I paint it. I will likely, oh, the bottom side of his torso doesn't have anything in it. I will likely paint it in pieces and then do the final assembly. So there might be a couple things. So let's glue these on here. So with the extra thin glue, you just make sure it's not clogged. Now I really like extra thin glue, and I like the idea of this bottle, but I find that it ends up getting dry in there. So I'm just putting this on all the surfaces that should contact each other, and just push that in place. Make sure all of my sprues are fully cut off here. Apply glue to that surface. Nice squeeze, get any of the glue out. Okay, for the future steps, I'm not going to show you any of the clipping and trimming stages. I'll just show you the assembly itself, just to help speed this up a little bit. You can see kind of how I'm doing that right now. So this sensor array is going to go right inside there. Make sure I have it right side up. Just a bit of glue. Like that. And the Quilla, or however you want to pronounce it, Imperial Eagle. Try not to get too much glue on that. And there we go. And this will go like that. So I think I'm going to glue that all together. I'm not going to put a lot of detail on the inside of it. I'll probably spray it black and then just try to pick out some of the details later. So I'm just going to go ahead. I think that's all the areas that are going to contact. Maybe up there. Okay. There we go. And there is the assembly. So part 1A is going to be the cockpit. So I'm going to cut right now, and I'll come back to show you that put together. Okay, so I've got the parts all ready for the driver, the Tech Marine, although it's debatable on some of the forums whether it's a Tech Marine or not, because all Space Marines apparently are able to drive these things. So just the torso goes together like any other Space Marine torso, and the details, it looks basically the same as the Storm Raven guy. Probably the exact same computer model, I would think. Got the head on there, and let's see how we're going to get this all inside there. So this is going to be a little bit fiddly, I'm sure. Wonder if I should have done that first. No, it says clean. Oh, it says the control desk is supposed to go in first. Okay, so that's this thing here. And that goes that way, so that surface there, and that surface. So yeah, the instructions tell you to do that first, and now let's see if I can't maybe glue these on and then just do the exact positioning. This is all in, so we have the regular shoulder pad on the one side and the Adaptus Mechanicus symbol on the other. So, see if I can't make this work. So I've kind of positioned him together and how I think he's going to go. I'm going to try to put him on top of his legs. Is it going to work? Ah. Let's do it with one arm maybe. A one arm bandit here. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay, so let's try this way. There we go. And of course, got to make sure I don't get any glue on my fingers when I'm touching everything there. Let's get a bit more glue on that. And yeah, you know what? This would have been. Oh, actually, there we go. That's in there. Good. Put some glue inside there. Use that to position that. And let's try the same with this arm here. Not sure what that's going to match up with. Oh, right in the middle. There's a control knob there. Alright, so I'm just going to do some little last minute positioning. But that's my Tech Marine driver. Alright, for part step 2A, we've got this top piece here, and so there's going to be some sort of a communications array that goes into that. So this piece here is going to go inside there like that. So like that. And it's going to go in there like that. Just there. Okay, you know what? I think I missed one of the things to cut out, but so we have these communications array, apparently, I'm calling them, and they're all different shapes to go in there. So let's make sure I try to do these correctly. Now they're going to point upwards, so you just got to make sure you get the angles right, I think. So let's see if I do that. How's that going to work? So that one looks like that. Well, you know, that's probably, I don't know if that's the right angle that's supposed to be. And that one like that. Now you know what? I think they're supposed to, I think they're supposed to look kind of symmetrical. I hope so. Something like that, and then this one's going to go on the top. Yeah, something. There, like that. Okay, and I'm missing a piece there. I've got to cut that out and I'll put that in. I'll skip ahead to the next step though. Alright, so now I'm going to be assembling the fuselage, so I got all the pieces cut out. And actually, one of the interesting things here is the, let's get this in the center here. This is the rear landing gear. And I saw it on the sprue pictures on the GW website, and I wasn't sure how it worked. So what it is if you assemble it just like this, it sticks out below. The instructions say you can cut it off and then make it flush. So on the other side, so the tail, if you assemble it as if it's flying, it'll be up like that. Otherwise, it'll be down like that. So I'm going to actually assemble it as if it's able to land. Partly because I want it to be able to go off the flying stand, but no real good reason other than that. Okay, so let's get these pieces in here. So this one's going in this nook here. Yeah, see, this is clogged up again. So if you leave this glue out, unfortunately, it seems to dry in that little metal tube. You can just, yeah, so there it's flowing again. I really like the thin glue, but that's a bit of a nuisance. So that's going to go in there like that. That's just to give you the detail on the inside of there. And then there's a piece at the back here, which is this Adaptus Mechanicus symbol. So all the iconography of this is your standard Space Marine stuff, you know, skulls and... Oh, I just didn't trim that piece. But yeah, so far it's assembling just like I would expect of a Space Marine vehicle. And make sure we get glue there. And I'm just going to put a bead of glue all the way around here. The thin glue. And this is what I like about the thin glue, is it's really easy to go all around everything. Put a nice thin bead there, not have to worry about it squirting out everywhere. Okay, I think that's all the pieces that will contact each other. Line this up. Make sure that's straight at the bottom. Just wipe the anything that might squeeze out. Make sure we have good contact. And I'm going to use, this is the Tamiya extra thin glue. And I'm just going to make sure that I just coat the joint there. So the Citadel extra thin glue is nice, but not quite as controlled in that long nozzle as the Tamiya little brush. The problem with a brush though is that it doesn't reach the very, very bottom of the bottle, and so you end up with a little bit at the end that you can't reach. So this piece is going to go on there. Let's glue on all the contact surfaces. There we go. Make sure that's straight. And there's the end of stage 2. So we've got the fuselage there, and I think this is basically going to end up going inside there. And that's kind of where we're headed. So I'll come back in a minute with the next step. Alright, step 3 is just assembling the bits here. So I'm going to get some, the instructions tell you to put the roof section in before you do the other bit. So clogged. Okay, so make sure I get lots of glue on there. And I'm going to dab the glue in once I've put it together as well. Actually, that fits in there very nicely. I don't need too much extra glue. Do like that, and then the fuselage, or the cockpit's going to go just up inside there. Let's try to figure out where it's going to contact. Okay, there appears to be a designed gap in there, so actually I'm going to just use the brush to go along that edge. And I'm going to go inside there as well. Give me a nice good gluing surface. Okay, so because the extra thin glue is extra thin, it sucks right into the joints. A capillary action there, which works quite well. So it's going to hold that tight and start cutting things out for the next step. Alright, in this step I'm going to be assembling the assault cannon at the front. Now I know some people have said that this looks pretty goofy, but I'm going to assemble it as is, and like I have a Raven Wing upgrade sprue that I might pull out and compare once I'm all done this. So check the end of the video for that. So this is the swivel that it's all going to go on, and I'm probably not going to glue this right in place. Actually, no, you don't have to, because there's this little connector here, so great. Now, make sure I get these guys all together right. Oh, there's only one way for them to go. That's good. Okay. And also, before I paint this, I'll probably drill out the barrels just to help it look right. And these appear to be the exact same scale as the Bow Predator. So these are the sort of the vehicle-sized assault cannons that you'd see on a Rhino or Land Raider or Bow Predator, but definitely not the same size as the ones the Terminators carry around, which is more like the Raven Wing land speeder upgrade. So a bit of debate as to the scale. GW kind of interchanges, has two scales for all the heavy weapons, the ones that you see on the vehicles, and then the size that the regular Marine would carry. And I think when the initial pictures of this leaked out on the web, the concern was that these things just looked far too big for this. And I tend to agree. Overall, though, I know the Storm Raven, I found that the pictures online didn't do it justice, and so it wasn't until I saw it in person that I actually quite liked the model. Now, the other thing that I find that makes these things look goofier than they need to be is, how's this going to go? Okay, so there's that piece at the bottom. Is the, oh, there we go. What am I saying here? That must go inside. No? Did something wrong there. Okay, so that definitely goes, there we go, like that. This piece here, oh, I put that on backwards, that's what I did. There we go. Put a bit more glue there. Okay. And this doesn't get glued, so those are swivel. And where was I now? Yeah, so the Storm Raven looks much better in person than it does on the website. So, and that's just, I think, a matter of perspective. But yeah, the flying stand doesn't help because the flying stand, the new GW flying stand, only lets it go kind of straight on, and you'd want a bit more of a dynamic pose. Like the new ball stands, or newish ball flying stands that they all the Dark Eldar have are quite nice. So that's going to go like that, and this piece here is going to mesh in there, and that's going to let that swivel. But the top one here is going to glue. Where's that going to glue? On the underside. I think I'm missing something here. Page number 4. Okay, so that's going to go on the other side. I'm going to check the instructions and see what I did wrong. Alright, so genius. The instructions are missing a step. I double checked things here and I can't find it, so I'm going to assume that I'm still right. Somebody sees that I did this wrong. So this piece here is missing from the instructions, so that's the underside obviously because it's got the flying stand bit, and that's going to go here. And so the step where you glue that in, I'm hoping I'm not missing anything here. Well, the step itself is missing, and it's going to pop in there. So it's going to require a little bit of holding. So I'm going to put some glue in there, hold that in place, and then I might as well glue that on right now. This piece here goes right there. Okay, so I'll come back and I'm going to start to do the engines. Alright, so now we've got the assembly for the engine all ready to go. So this is the right engine, and the left engine is just a mirror image of that. So let's see if I can't put these all together. So I think these guys here are going to go first. Like that. And then that's going to go inside of here. Not sure which one was which. I don't think it matters. Yeah, they look like they're the same. That's going to go there. And then the other one will go on here. And all this stuff. Go together like that. Give it a nice squeeze. And this nozzle will go on the back end here. Let's make sure that it all lines up. It doesn't seem to matter too much how that goes on. Okay, now we've got this wing. Make sure I do this right. Okay, so this front piece here will go there like that. Put a bit of extra glue on the inside. Okay, and we got this piece on the bottom. I think it's going to go like that. I don't think those can actually come out a bit. So these are positionable. So the front is meant to be like a hinge. Yeah, you can see it right there. So I'm going to put those out a little bit. I'll try to match them from one side to the other. So that gets that extra air coming out the bottom. Yeah, that's the bottom. And this side here, that's the leading edge is the round edge. And get a nice bead of glue on that. And there we go. So that's the right side. And I'll do the left up, but I won't show it. And put this all together, that's going to go on like that. And that'll be, now they have a little guide there, so it only can rotate a certain amount, so straight from vertical all the way around to the horizontal. So that's the takeoff, I guess, and flying. It's actually shaping up to be pretty cool looking. So yeah, I'll come back and I'll show you that, and then we'll move on. Alright, welcome back. I've got the two side engines already, and I've got this next piece. So we're on to step 6, and I put the canopy on there. Let's take that off. So step 6 is putting this guy through, so it's a nice snug fit there. And I'm actually going to glue this on now. I was debating whether or not to do that for painting, but I think I will, because I think I can paint that no problem. So I'm going to get some glue on the tip of that on both sides, and this, I want to make sure that I can still rotate this, so I'm going to make sure I don't get any glue on other bits, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue inside each of those so I get a nice, so that's going to go there, go there, and that's basically the now there's a little bit of play. So I'm going to make sure that these guys are aligned. And once that's all dry, they should rotate together. So there we go. So that's the bulk of the size. Now let's just compare it. I happen to have a the dark Eldar flyer right here. So comparing size-wise, let's see if I can aim this at the camera. So I don't know if that gives you any comparison there. Maybe I'll take a picture and I'll throw it in here. So boom, I'm going to throw a picture in there and you'll get to see that. Alright, on to step 7 now. So this is putting all these little nozzles on the underside here. So flip ourselves over and put a bit of glue in each one of those. Hopefully there's a good fit. So, well, these are actually round joints and round joints, so you can vector those nozzles however you'd like. I'm going to try to keep them reasonably straight. Get a bit more glue on that one. There we go. Okay, on to step 8. Okay, so now we're on to step 8, 9, and 10, and what this is the side sponsons. So they all have this common part here, which is the sort of the shell. And oops, if we look at this side here, let's see if I can kind of show you. So they all have different fronts and backs, but essentially perform the same role. So this will go on here like that, and the front and back will determine what. So there's like a cyclone launcher of some sort that's going to go look like that, and then there's a missile launcher that's going to look like that. And then there's this front here, which combines with this piece to make a las cannon, so it gives you twin las cannons. And there's another piece for the front there. Or you can have your base one, which is heavy bolters. So I'm going to need to figure out how to magnetize that. So I'm thinking a magnet in the front that will hold those pieces in there. And because this front one's going to be snug enough, I think I don't need a magnet there, just a magnet in the las or heavy bolter. And then the back side, you know, I don't. So that's the missile launcher back, and the las cannon back is that one, which isn't terribly different, and we're really not going to see that. And I think that's the same. That's the same as the heavy bolter. So the heavy bolter and las cannon have the same back. So I think I'm probably going to put that back in there, and just glue it. I'm not going to worry about the missile launcher sort of one, and then put a magnet in the front. Now the other thing is on the side. So this side here, you have the las cannon sort of magazine that will go. Is there a piece there? It's going to go in the middle of this side here somehow. I think it feels like it wants to clip into something. Anyways, there's that, and then the heavy bolter one is going to go on there as well. And you know what? I'm doing something wrong here. Maybe not. Or maybe I got it upside down. No, I don't. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to put some magnets in there, and I'll show you exactly how I end up having that configured. Alright, I'm done magnetizing now, and so here's what I ended up doing. So I made a mistake earlier, and there's actually two different side panels. One of them has an inset for the heavy bolter ammo or the las cannon battery packs or whatever they are. So if that was that piece, this battery pack would go in there like that. So I opted not to use those. I'm just using the plain panels, and I put a magnet in the front. So that's just a 1/8 inch magnet. And I'm not going to do the cyclone launchers or whatever they are, but because they're a little thinner, and you can see there's a little bit of a white speck, That's what the drill kind of went through. But if I was to do those, I would use these thin magnets right here. So these are really thin ones. I'm not going to use those though, so I'm not going to bother magnetize these. If I use that option, I'll just use the missile launchers. So for the missile launchers, what I did is I drilled a bit of a hole there, and that's the wrong one. And so I've got these pieces like that, and I'll just magnetize on there. So it doesn't sit perfectly, but you know what, that's close enough. And then for the las cannon and heavy bolter option, I've got this piece, and I drilled that hole out a little bit. So that's going to sit in there like that, and I've got a magnet in the end there, and it's going to push in like that. It's a tight fit, but does the trick. And so that's the las cannon. Pull that out, and if I want to do the heavy bolter, just put the heavy bolter in there, and there's my magnet, and all done. So I'm just going to glue these onto the side of the fuselage now, and that will be my assembly complete. So let's get the other side over here. So unfortunately I don't have a Storm Raven here to compare sizes with, and I actually don't even have a land speeder to compare with either, but I think I have a Land Raider I can grab. So there's one of each, I guess. So let's put the heavy bolter in there so it's all done. And throw the canopy on as if it was done, but I'll do that after I'm done painting. And there we are. There's the model all complete. So this is the Stormtalon, and I'll put some still images at the end, and I'll compare some sizes, and hopefully I'll be painting this up shortly. It's a pretty cool looking model in person. The assault cannons, yeah, they're a little large, but you know what, in person this thing looks pretty menacing. So let's see if those will, yeah, those rotate fine now that they're dry. Actually a little bit of a give there. So let those dry a bit more, and you can see there's the landing gear there, and yeah, pretty cool model. I don't think people will be complaining quite as much once they start seeing it on the tabletop, kind of like the Storm Raven. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'll be painting this guy up as soon as possible. I've also got an Orc Bomber on the way, so make sure you subscribe to this, and check out my other videos, leave a comment, and see you next time.